One last time.
One last time.
Nick fucking breaks me all the time, man. He hears choo choo and he immediately goes choo choo rocket. Like, have you ever played choo choo rocket?
No, God no.
He heard it twice.
Could you? Do you have any idea what choo choo
Stop.
rocket
Just
is?
don't tell him because then this is another season of nicknames right here. Nick looks at games and tries to tell you the name.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bad Boys in Review. Probably the final Bad Boys in Review here on Kind of Funny.
Is it?
No
It is.
spoilers.
They
no
said
spoilers.
one last time.
No spoilers.
We're on full spoilers eventually.
Eventually, I
But now
don't
they
know.
got
Some
a
kid just
team.
came in. He's like, "Oh man, I love fucking Captain Marvel in review. What's the newest video? Here it is, Bad Boys in review. I've never heard of this series.
still hate
I'm
you
sure
wearing
these
this
series are
costume."
so good. Why? Is it because you're never sure if my eyes are open? They never are.
Oh my god! That wasn't why, dude. We were in the back room, and it's like you think that we do this to be performative, and you think like, oh, Greg's only like this on camera. He can't be like this in real life. I'm sitting there prepping the show, and Nick looks over at Greg and goes, "We getting a costume for this?" And Greg just looks at Nick, and they both together go, "One last time." And they start getting dressed. I was like, "Fuck!"
Useless.
I love it.
art.
I think it's a
This
beautiful
is our
thing.
art.
Our art.
It is art. It is art. You can watch the show live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. You can watch it later on youtube.com/kindoffunny, roosterteeth.com, podcast services. Just search for Kind of Funny Reviews. You can get the show ad-free by going to patreon.com/kindoffunny. We'd appreciate that very much. Today, we're talking about Bad Boys for Life. Released on January 17th, 2020. Directed by Adil El Arbi and Bilal...
I want it to be known I'm laughing at Greg, not this person's name.
I wasn't expecting that one. Restart the show. Oh my God, you're named after a pickle in a bad fast food restaurant. That's the double whammy. If it was a Dill Miller, no big deal. You got a name that's a pickle.
Taco
If it
Bell
was-
El
if it-
Cucumber.
If it was Greg Arby, no big deal. You know what I mean?
Bilal. Born on June 30th, 1988, 1 year to the day to me. Before
Wow.
me.
You
Yeah,
could be
and he's
directing Bad Boys 3.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, 1988?
Yeah. My birthday is June 30th, 1989.
Got it.
It was
Okay.
1989.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then the other guy was 1986. So there's that.
I love
Anyway, they're Belgian film and television directors. The duo are known for writing and directing the feature films Image in 2014, Black in 2015, and Patzer in 2018, and Wiz Khalifa music videos. Besides directing Bad Boys for Life, Arby and Falah are also attached to direct Beverly Hills Cop 4, the fourth installment of the Beverly Hills Cop franchise.
I'm not excited about that. That's not good.
A budget of $90 million. So meeting in the middle a little bit from one and 3.
I walked out, and my first thought was, wow, they could have used that extra budget. This
Really?
one, yeah, this one felt so much
Really?
more. Yeah, it felt so much more light on effects and the action sequences than the last one. And again,
that was good.
it's because Michael Bay way overshot
Yeah.
the last one. But I'm so used to Bad Boys being that fucking extra 300% that this movie felt like it was a made-for-TV movie for me.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Like a lot of the coverage was shot in close-ups, which is like the lazy man's way of shooting scenes.
But
so
is
you don't
it-
have to have stuff in the background.
Are
And
you
it was straight up like shot, reverse shot wide, shot, reverse shot wide. Like it was not. They didn't do a lot with. They didn't. It was a very thin movie for me. As far like lean, I should say, not thin. Lean movie as far as the way they cover it.
The box office so far, Sony's Bad Boys for Life, a sequel 17 years in the waiting, previewed at 3,154 theaters last night, making $6.36 million. That amount for R-rated film is bigger than American Sniper's 5.3 million preview, which was the record opener over MLK Holiday in 2015. Sony is seeing a $38 million opening for Bad Boys for Life, but tracking yesterday raised their projections to between 50 and 56 million for the weekend, which is like, this thing's hitting hard.
It's gonna hit hard.
It's hitting
That's
hard.
good to know.
Good for that.
And
I had a feel like watching this movie. I'm like, this movie should not do well. In my
The,
opinion.
the movie ended, and I thought, there's no way in hell there will be another one. Because it's one of those things where we assume that the nostalgia will bring people back.
Yeah.
But for a franchise like Bad Boys, we're not talking about like, I don't know. Even with Terminator, when we went to go watch Terminator Genesis, or
Yeah.
which one was it?
Dark Fate.
Dark
Dark
Fate.
Fate.
Fuck, you're right.
Going to watch Dark Fate, and you think, oh, this is such a universally loved franchise. Of course, they're going to make another one, but this is also like their third attempt at a reboot franchise or whatever.
See, this does not feel like a reboot. This feels like somebody was watching Fast and Furious and Mission Impossible and was like, we need a team. Sony needs a franchise desperately because all they really have is like Spider-Man and Venom and maybe another movie.
What about the Uncharted movie?
I
can't wait to watch that.
Are we into spoilers?
No.
But so this
Clear.
either way, this feels like they're trying to figure out how to shift Bad Boys from being this weird like cult classic movie. I guess it's not cult classic. It was a pretty big blockbuster last time. But this weird movie that's like very nostalgic to like how do we make a franchise out of this? How do we have Bad Boys 4, Bad Boys Hobbs and Shaw, Bad Boys, all these things? And that's what this kind of felt like to me.
Interesting. I don't get the vibe at all. I feel like this feels like the last one, and it doing well I think might lead to more, but I don't feel like that was the
I think
goal.
they've left the door open with some of the elements that they've chosen to put in here. Where like I think they could do it, but I don't know.
Yeah, runtime of 2 hours and 4 minutes. Before we get into spoilers and stuff, real quick, going around the table, what are our top level thoughts on the movie? Andy Cortez.
I liked it, and I laughed a lot, and it was fun. But I think I was talking to Nick and Kevin earlier. For every time I laughed, there was also a reaction I had where there was bad dialogue. I think tonally, it's kind of all over the place. Where there are moments where Martin Lawrence is crying and you're supposed to feel something, but he's also kind of badly acting and also trying to deliver jokes, and you're not quite sure what they want. You're not quite sure what they want you to feel in certain moments. I liked it more than the other two. I think it was a serviceable movie, but I still don't think it was very good.
Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall it's a very okay middle tier movie, but yeah, it had its fun moments. It had a lot of cringy moments, but like I feel like going into you should expect
Sorry to
it.
interrupt you, Kevin.
Okay. Hey, it's God.
Josh McCouga, what's up?
Fuck.
We have a clip of
Tim, what's up, buddy? Are you guys doing this live stream or what? Are you guys hating on my movie or what?
We're live right now. We like just started. Kevin was just giving his first thoughts.
No spoilers.
Yes, we're in no spoilers right now. You already did send in
All right.
multiple videos, so what do you have to say now?
We haven't seen him yet.
Listen, I just want to yell at Greg for like a 45 minutes because the man personally insulted me and my wife about Bad Boys 2, and I'm not really appreciating it.
It's a good point.
Hey, Josh. It's Greg. All I was saying is, hey, how are you? You having a good time?
Yeah, buddy, you good?
I'm great. How's the VH1 show coming?
It's fantastic. Rock Alone season 23 will be the best season yet.
All I was saying, Josh, is that it was, heartbreaking to find out that these movies are bad and that you have been trying to tell us for years they were good. That was all I was saying. It's like, again, I've never watched the old Collider thing that apparently you left and killed, but I always thought that meant because you covered movies, you knew a lot about movies, you had good opinions about movies, you knew good from bad. And clearly that's just not the case. And that's okay. I'm not mad about it. I'm just disappointed.
I'm a little
mad. Kevin's a little mad. And if you have anything else to say about it, now would be the time.
Can I ask him some question?
He's got nothing else to say. Sorry. That's it. That's all the time we have
Did
for
you
him.
hang up
That
on
sucks.
him? Wow.
I think he hung up when he had nothing else to say. It's admitted that he has bad opinions about movies. All right.
Sorry, Kevin. Continue.
I mean, yeah. That was it. Like this movie.
It's a 6
Yeah,
out of 10.
I don't want to say too much because like we've
He is
got
calling back.
right.
Oh, it's weird because he said he had nothing.
Go for it.
No,
No,
it's
no,
fine.
sorry, sorry.
Whatever you want to do with this. Just let this man who's not part of the review crew come in here and keep ruining the show.
What do you
Why
got
don't we
for
call
me, Josh?
Shaq right now? What did Shaq think of Bad Boys?
I'm pretty sure that one of you guys just hung up on me.
Oh, I wonder who. I wonder who. Give me your quick thoughts here, Josh. Spoiler free.
Spoiler free. Bad Boys for Life is the greatest 17-year follow-up of a movie duo that is now a fantastic movie trilogy. Put it up against anything. Greg, you're wrong. You're a coward. Nick, everybody else, Tim, Andy, Kevin, everybody, Barrett, you guys are great. Greg, terrible. Just terrible.
I agree.
Thanks, Josh.
Reigning
Love you.
Josh pretty champion though. So what does that tell you?
All right. Bye.
It's the best. It's the best 17-year follow-up starring Will Smith and Martin
Yeah,
Lawrence.
so I'll give it that for sure.
Released in 2020.
Exactly.
Greg Miller.
Hey,
What do you think of Bad Boys?
number one with a bullet for sure. And I'm with everybody what we said
Save that
here.
for the end.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I'm
save
just
that
telling
for
you
the
right.
end.
First off, you already said it was better than two
Yeah.
because we're bros. Come on now, that's what it is. And so we got out there. We like to get it out there. Tim, do you want to grab the other devil horn? Andy, you grab one. No. Tim, come on. Kevin, you want to?
No,
Get in here. Nick,
no,
grab it.
no,
Bad Boys for Life. Come on.
Devil Horn?
Well, now I
No,
have
it's too late now. You didn't want to be part of the crew.
I don't know how to do this.
All right, that's how we sign off on every in review now.
Okay.
Named after an Arby's. Oh, sorry. Anyways,
Maybe
number one with a
a
bullet.
bullet.
Number one with a bullet. I agree, though. A mediocre film. The entire time I was watching it, I wish I was at home playing video games or asleep. But
I'll tell you what. I thought you were falling asleep.
why? Because I kept shuffling. I was so cold. I'm
No,
so cold, Andy.
you do this thing that reminded
bring
me
a
of.
blanket.
It sort of reminded me a lot of the times during Extra Life where we are in the wee hours of the night, where
Sure.
it's like 5, 6 in the morning,
Sure.
and we're all very, very tired, and we're seconds away from sleep.
Yeah.
And there were several moments, little joke here, little punchline here, and out here. And it was a very tired laugh.
I mean, that's how
It was
funny
a
the
very
show is.
tired
I heard all 4 of you laugh out loud.
Oh, I was laughing.
I couldn't
a
find you in
lot.
the theater. I thought you were in a
I was
different
way
theater.
in the back.
They had a couple moments that were really funny, but for every moment, like, and you said this a minute ago, they really had several moments of like, why is Martin Lawrence in this movie?
Yeah,
like
100%.
he's not trying.
See, Andy, for there was 4 different things. I was really tired. I'd already taken a nap, but I was still tired. I wanted more. Number 2, and Nick, this is for you. Okay, if you ever see me order a regular popcorn again, just smack me in the fucking face because I don't know what I was thinking. It's
You
$1
ate it so
more to
fast.
get. It was. I didn't even. I went to wash my hands. Half the bag was gone.
you should've
Like
told me
Jen,
I
I had
had
to
a
sell
whole-
you on the popcorn. You're eating the popcorn. You
I
know
had
what I
a
mean?
whole large popcorn
Then I was
behind you.
freezing.
It's
No,
still
you gave me
there.
some. It was really
I would've
helpful.
given you
And then
less.
Jen leaned over when I took a handful of yours, and she's like, "Fill our bag," and I was like, "I don't think it
I
works
would've
that way,
totally
baby."
done that.
You should have done that.
Anyways, number one with a bullet. 6 out of 10. It's this weird thing where you watch this movie and Martin Lawrence not at his peak of his acting game by any stretch of the imagination.
Peak of any game, movement game.
But as you're
breathing
watching
game.
it, you get it. The idea, you have the feeling of like, no, but this is fun because it's them together again. And it's like, wait, this isn't that beloved of a franchise to justify this, to bring them back like this. But then there's moments where you're in
This
and out of
isn't
it.
Toy Story, you know?
And at no point would I tell anyone and lie to your face here. And again, look me in my closed eyes. No point would I lie to you and say, oh no, everybody, this one makes the 5 hours of fucking bullshit I had to watch worth it. But there are moments in here that resonated more because I
Yeah.
did sit through all that garbage.
Sure.
Reggie.
Reggie was-
100%,
oh, God,
100%.
that was
Don't even
so-
get it. You
Spoiler.
spoil it.
Huge
Rest in
spoiler.
peace, Reggie. Or did he?
I'm conflicted because I unlike you guys, I actually just kind of I like the first 2 just because I find them endearing on a level of
Junk food.
Yeah, they're junk food, and I just have a special place in my heart because I remember sitting in the theaters really just enjoying the shit out of them as being these fucking wacky bonkers, like way over the top action pieces with these 2 people that I just thought I still think are great actors. So this to me, I didn't like this as much as the other ones. I agree it's a better movie, and I agree that it's just structurally better. But I found myself for the first time in my life about 30 minutes in this movie really missing Michael Bay because this movie's so grounded for some reason in like a level of reality that I just don't want from Bad Boys.
Is it?
Kind of. Like I
They
just
drive. It opens with a chase where they're driving around, running from the cops. I think I'm sure we'll tell spoilers, I guess, or whatever. There's
I think they were
people
getting escort.
People are getting blown the
I don't
fuck
think so.
away, coming back to life. Like there's all these different things. Like
I just feel
it
like-
is. You're not on this case. All right, you
It's
can be on the
just-
case. You fucked everything up. Sirens are on our end.
To me, I guess the big thing that's hard for me to always rectify with these movies when they decide to reinvigorate a franchise 20 years later is that they can never nail the tone of the original series. Now, for Bad Boys, that's not necessarily a problem because you guys don't like it, but what scares me is that when they're going to go back and redo like Beverly Hills Cop, which are movies that are so good on so many levels because of the tone, because of the style, because of how they're shot, because of how seriously the actors
Because
are
of
taking
the
them,
time,
because of
you
the
know?
time frame. Like they were shot on film, they have the look, they have the feel. It's like Eddie Murphy at the height of his powers. When we start making these movies 20 years, 30 years later, they just feel like weird parodies of the original movies, and and they're like always. This one to me specifically was like I just hated the way it was shot. I hated the way everything was like lit. It was missing that like Michael Bay over
Orange
the fucking
tone that he
top,
put on.
balls to the walls, cocaine infused. Are we shooting a movie or a music video? Who the fuck cares? Spend money, spend money, spend money, like style. And it was just kind of weird to like on a couple shots. I'm like, this kind of looks like a really good episode of Burn Notice. Which is strange. Which is not saying it's bad, but I don't know. I enjoyed it, but yeah, Greg Miller.
Sorry, question from you, Greg Miller, kindoffunny.com.
Yeah, Greg.
Are some of the things you were
I can't
saying
tell, are
there
you
kind of
asleep or are you
sounded?
awake?
No, that's just how I do the show, and that makes me better because I'm in one with the force. a lot of things you're saying there could be directed at Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I was wondering if you feel like Ghostbusters Afterlife will struggle from these problems. Thank you.
I do feel like that is their biggest hurdle, is trying to make something that's contemporary but also feels like it belongs in the franchise. And I don't think I've ever seen a movie actually nail that I can think of. Right, a recent note: Beverly Hills Cop 3 definitely did not nail it. If you watch that movie versus Beverly Hills Cop 2, it feels like a fucking Saturday Night Live parody. And then, of course, Lethal Weapon 4 almost nailed it.
Oh,
almost. Still a good
crazy.
movie,
Lethal
but
Weapon
if
4
you
is a
watch
great
the
movie.
difference between like the style and the tone
Yeah.
of Lethal Weapon 3, you go to 4, it just feels like a daddy's home version of Lethal Weapon.
I think it's hard to do. I think because they are such products of their time. I think about what if they try to make an Ace Ventura 3 today? It wouldn't work. Like that. I don't know if that style of comedy
First of all,
would
there
necessarily
is-
resonate today and would necessarily.
I think there's a
makes
way.
sense.
I think it's absolutely right. I think there's a way to do it, but I just feel like hiring a no-name director and having like a random DP shoot it is not the way to do it. I would have been like, who the fuck shot Bad Boys 2? Let's get that motherfucker out of retirement, shoot it on film, go crazy with like it should start off with. I mean, the action set piece that it started off with was fun. Okay, great. Yeah, they're doing what they're doing, but. Like if you go back and watch a lot of Michael Bay movies, it's like 4 minutes of dialogue, action, 4 minutes of dialogue, action. And this felt like the opposite, where I'm like, we're getting one scene here.
But
that
they're
was kind of
also,
cool.
I feel like they're also older, and that kind of makes sense.
That's the problem,
And-
right? Is
and-
that they
right.
can't do the action because
Right.
Martin Lawrence can't fucking run anymore, and like Will Smith can barely run. Like he was looking a little long in the tooth too. So
don't
I,
insult Will Smith on
really
this
quick,
one, right?
I do want to add one of the things that that actually is a positive of the budget being low or lower is that like if this movie does $200 million, it's going to be a big success, and like that for numbers, like that's not a huge number. So even if it does like $300 million, it's going to be a really big success, and there's more potential for future movies.
I'm all
you know?
for it. And again, I think it's to paint it in a positive light. Having less budget meant that the action sequences were a bit leaner, which I think when they did hit, I was like, okay, we're done. Good. Okay,
Yeah.
we're not going to a bridge now and then a helicopter now and another thing now.
Yeah.
But then some of the stuff like
go to-
the motorcycle action scene, I was like, this looks so bad.
Man,
And
I
it's not
have
good.
never disagreed with you guys about
Really?
a movie more, ever. I think this is the best a Bad Boys movie can possibly be. I think it was lean. I think that the comedy worked. There wasn't dialogue that was cringeworthy. The dialogue, like, compared to the other movies where it's like would be scenes of dialogue that happen and you're like, what movie is this from? This felt like one movie, and I think it succeeded from beginning to end. The action scenes kept me invested. I do not think it looks like a made-for-TV movie at all. I actually really liked how it was shot, especially the action. I think that the budgetary restrictions meant that it wasn't just Michael Bay. Like, the thing that I loved most about the last movie was the fucking car chase scene with the cars being thrown, the boat
How'd
being
you
thrown,
sink a
and all
boat?
that.
You sank a boat?
That stuff was
that-
great. I like that this movie, it showed restraint a different way, where it's like it was a visceral type. The violence that we saw in 1 and 2, I think, was like justified in this one, where it was part of the action. It was part of the choreography. There's scenes where dudes are with knives, and it's not just slicing throats, which we see all the time. It's slicing throat and then stab, and like
Yeah,
the
that guy was great.
camera
That choreography
moves
was
with
great.
that,
Yeah.
and like the use of the motorcycle, I thought was second only to Gemini Man, another movie this year with Will Smith and a motorcycle
Dude,
and
but
action
like that,
scenes.
like that's a place where it's like Gemini Man must have had a much bigger budget because like that looks
absolutely.
so much better. And
I don't think it looks so much better.
I thought it looked-
the budget.
like-
You could tell where it went, but I think that this movie, like, I disagree. The Martin Lawrence stuff, I don't think he's ever been good. I think,
Nah,
like,
I disagree with that. I think like his past movies,
Blue Streak.
he just didn't seem like he seemed
He's
like
lost
he
the step.
completely just lost all of his acting chops. Not that he was ever an Oscar contender or anything like that, but it just seemed like a different person.
I
was
felt
on
like he
screen.
was one note. He couldn't. There was no range to him, right? He delivered everything the same
Yeah.
way.
I don't know,
Even
man. I
when,
feel
like,
like when
even
you
when
look, we just watched Bad Boys 1 and Bad Boys 2 leading into this, and I think that like he was no better in those than this. I think he was best in this. I think that he was best in this because they gave him things that made sense. It's like the dramatic scenes of him crying and stuff, like the storylines that they came up with this. Whether he was being funny or whether he was being serious, I believed in the character. Unlike the other movies where it's like, I don't believe anything. Anytime there was drama, it's like, you're just telling me there's drama. This I actually believed in, and that's why I think it's the best Bad Boys movie, and it's the best that it possibly can. Every single thing that Bad Boys should be, whether it's action, whether it's comedy, whether it's like believing in these characters, like they nailed all of those elements, and the score is fucking fantastic. The Bad Boys theme, the da 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 da,
Yeah.
every fucking time it plays, I'm like, let's go. No shaky tail feather. Let's fucking
know,
go.
thank
God.
No, it's good.
That was a missed opportunity. Huge missed opportunity. They should have started that movie with that fucking song. I'll admit that, like, so story-wise, character-wise, like, they really, really tried to make something better. Like, they tried to make a good movie.
It's coherent.
It's coherent.
Yeah.
It makes more sense. And yeah, like, their development and them getting older and them kind of like, but you know, are we gonna hang it up? Or are we gonna go one last time? Spoilers, they go one last time. I liked all that stuff. I guess the thing that didn't resonate with me was that this movie was missing style. And style, like, whereas this movie has substance, which I know is crazy for me to say.
Does,
It does. I'm not disagreeing with that. This movie has substance. It's lacking in the style, whereas the other two were all style and zero substance. So I guess that's what I'm reacting to. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing, because I did enjoy a lot of the story beats here. And I like that they at least tried to have them have character arcs in this and tried to build out a world. And, you know, there's some characters that come back and you're like, oh, it's fucking nice to see those people. But I was missing that Michael Bay, like, is the camera going to revolve one more time? Oh, 10 more times. Oh, we're going. Or like the fucking like hyper crushed, like fucking super contrasty. They have the shot with the plane leaving Miami this time, which I thought was very interesting.
I love that stuff.
Reminds you
That's
where
my
you
thing
were.
is like this is another place I just disagree with. It's like I feel like they did all those shots the right amount. It's like they didn't spin 10,000 times. They did spin once or twice.
Yeah.
You know?
But for Martin Lawrence, like, I think the point that everyone's making is like Martin Lawrence was so dynamic in everything he's done up until this point. And so seeing him 17 years later, a little older, his highs aren't quite as high as he can't take him as high anymore, and he can't take him as low anymore. He's just kind of mid-range, and I don't think it's because he's a bad actor. I think it's just because he's older and he's just lost that energy that he can bring to the role.
I guess
And
my thing is the plot, I think, worked in service of that. And it's just like
I think they wrote
that
to
they
his
gave
strengths,
they,
yeah.
the
Definitely
dialogue
wrote for
written
him. They
and
definitely wrote
the
for him.
scenes that they give them, both Will Smith and him, I think that it gives context to it, where it's like I was never taken out of it with it sounds like you guys were, of just like, oh, he's bad. It was just like, yeah, that's him now.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but it's sad because Will Smith hasn't really lost a step. Like, Will Smith still feels, he feels a bit older, and his body maybe doesn't look as good as it used to before. But like, he's still, Greg, no, don't do it.
Let's check and make sure my
There you
gun's
go.
clean. You know.
He still feels like he's got the comedic timing and the energy, and can still pull off the action sequences. Whereas Martin Lawrence just wasn't. I don't think the best counter, like, foil for all that stuff.
I've never looked at Martin Lawrence in any past movie and thought, man, what a bad actor. But in this movie, I thought that several times.
Like, you go back and watch Blue
But he
Streak,
still made me
and
laugh a lot.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, he's still funny. And the dialogue, some of the dialogue they had for him, like, some of the dialogue was really funny, and you can tell it's because they wrote it and didn't do any improv this time. Which
Totally.
was actually
This
pretty
feels
good.
like a coherent movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just missed the Martin Lawrence of, like, and granted he was probably 30 or 20 years younger, but Blue Streak is still one of my guilty pleasures. He's fucking popping around the scene and doing all sorts of shit and, like, moves really fast, and, like, he just has that really good physical energy that he used to have. Like, when you go back and watch some of his stand-up specials, he's using the whole fucking stage. He's changing elevations. He's like, he's just got that. And this, he was just like,
His voice,
just stay just like this.
he sounded like he has smoked a lot of cigarettes.
He sounds like he had a heart attack.
And he's
a long time ago,
I was
and it's
talking to Nick.
slowed.
I was like, he sounds sedated. A lot of this movie where
he really
everything's just kind of slow, and
He's
it's
got that
all
muffled
kinda,
thing where he
yeah.
can't speak through his mouth and enunciate.
Someone in the chat was saying that he had recently come off of like a back injury when they started filming this movie, so that might have been.
Maybe he was like
he
on
was
the
on pain
drugs.
meds,
Probably
maybe.
from carrying the whole project. You know.
There you go, Greg. There you go, Greg.
That's true.
All right, let's get into spoiler conversation.
I really thought Martin Lawrence was going to end up as the captain at the end.
I thought so too.
I thought that would make the most sense to get him,
Off
free
the
him up,
streets.
get him off the streets. He can't be with Will Smith, and he can have limited roles in any Bad Boys they want to go forward with.
And he also has that vibe of the captain.
Yeah.
where
Totally.
He just gets
Yeah.
pissed off and, like,
Stressed.
wants Will Smith to stop being so chaotic. Yeah.
I also thought when they popped up and when he walked in to talk to his son in the cage with the file, I was like, are they about to attach it to the Fast and Furious universe?
I want
Are
this
they about?
so
Because I was like,
God,
when he's
so
like,
bad.
there's a way to whittle down your sentence, and I thought he was gonna hand him the folder and open it up and be Dominic Toretto.
Oh,
I
Mr.
would've been
Nobody.
thrilled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like Kurt
and it's
Russell.
just like,
Dude.
they have to have filmed something there, right?
But see, that-
why do you
No,
walk in with a
'Cause it's-
fucking folder?
Well, yeah,
Cross-
but those are two
Cross
separate.
studios.
Was
They
it
would.
Well, I know.
Universal
I'm
has
aware.
them,
I'm
yeah.
aware. There's a lot of things.
But the thing is, after
what I'm
watching
saying.
Bad
I think
Boys
they're
1
trying
and
to build
2,
it out.
I do not want them in the Fast and Furious franchise. Bad Boys 3, I want these guys in Fast and Furious. And it's like, that is, I think, a testament to this movie finally delivering, like, what we want from them, which is buddy cop shit. We just didn't get it. The two things I didn't like about this movie that I wish we got more of, one is they still didn't fucking use P. Diddy's Bad Boys for Life
I
in the
hate
movie.
it. I hate
And
it.
two, Will Smith known for dual guns.
Yeah.
There's only one shot of him in this movie with dual guns. He doesn't even do anything
That's
with
why
it.
it fucking mattered. They pulled him out. And I'm like, oh, I get this
Dual
reference.
guns.
I understand
Dual
this
Glocks.
dual run.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
God DJ Khaled was in it. You know.
Oh, hey,
Dude,
you know what though?
I
thought he did a
dude.
good job.
Yeah, he did a really
100%.
good job.
I told Nick after the movie, I was like, DJ Khaled, I think was better than Martin Lawrence
Yeah,
in this
I think
movie.
he
man.
was. That
Khaled
one
was
scene.
awesome. Michael Bay cameo.
Michael Bay cameo.
Perfect
the
little
wedding
touch.
DJ,
Good for him.
yeah.
That's actually really awesome that he did that.
Yeah.
Specifically because he didn't. Did he produce this movie or did he?
I don't
did
think he had
Yeah,
no
dude,
involvement.
really
in it.
did
That's
good.
cool that they were just like come back one more time. And he was
Hell
like,
yeah,
"All
dude.
right,
He
One
did a
last
good job.
time.
Yeah.
And man, I'll say whatever. It's a movie. I'm not saying this is a masterpiece. I'm saying it's the best Bad Boys.
Sure.
movie.
Right, but like it like
That means something.
This is not a good movie.
I think it is a good movie. I think like
disagree.
for this
Yeah.
type of movie, I
think
think
it-
it's a good movie.
I think it's the best of these so far, but like at no way would I be like, this is a good use of my time. Like this is. I looked at my clock, my watch multiple times, being like, all right, we got. It's.
I just don't understand. I don't. This is 2 hours, and I feel like our biggest criticism for these movies is, man, I wish they just cut this. Wish they cut this.
Wow, I
This
wish
one.
they- I
Oh,
wish
don't
they
get me
got
wrong.
a
I
little
wish they
tighter.
would have cut more of this.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
but
wish
that-
this would have
but
been
at that point,
nice.
You just don't enjoy movies.
No,
you know?
it's
Oh,
not.
I don't enjoy
Yeah.
movies. Okay.
Yeah. No,
but, like,
seriously though. It's
I
like-
do.
No, they
I
were
do
just-
enjoy movies. I go to movies all the time.
I think there was so a perfect example is the plane stuff. I'm like, this is not working. If I was sitting in the edit room,
Yeah,
I'd have been like,
that's-
this scene is not working. It's dragging down the entire movie. And there were multiple moments like that. All the stuff with the kids in the fucking thing, I'm like, cut this the fuck out. This is not working. These people do not have the same charisma on screen as Will Smith.
Are you kidding me?
They did not
Oh,
work
I
for me at
loved
all.
them, dude.
That's what made me think this is a fucking episode of like Arrow.
I loved her. I loved the new captain. That was it from that team, though.
Actually-
And when they were like, "Oh, the big guy's gonna do something," like, "Oh, the big guy's gonna do something."
I mean,
he just
that-
fucks up 3 dudes and tackles a pillar.
yeah,
I
well,
was
like,
like,
that
all
was
right.
cool. I felt
I
like that
thought-
moment.
It could have
of
been.
him
I thought
doing
it could have
stuff.
like, a lot
I
cooler.
thought there was an interesting moment that the big dude has with Martin Lawrence, where he's explaining what he like, or they're explaining to him that like he no longer uses violence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I hated that.
but I thought that
Dude
like
used to
Martin
be the
Lawrence
number one
was,
bouncer in the world.
I thought Martin Lawrence was going to be like, maybe I should learn how to use technology and be in the office doing stuff
That'd be
like
smart
that.
too, yeah.
And then it just, like his little moment of like, like
That was-
built up to nothing, and I was like, all right.
I mean, that was one of those, okay, I'm sure he's going to do something later on in the movie that's going to justify
With no
us
payoff.
learning about his past for 30 seconds or whatever. It seemed kind of, I didn't need it. Like,
Yeah.
it's there, it's fine, but
Yeah.
I totally didn't need
That's
it.
Don't you
that-
understand the subtext though? Because it was remember he killed a guy when he got rough with a girl, and so he killed these other dudes. And then once Vanessa Hudgens got shot, that's when he's like, now I'm gonna fucking take out a pillar.
Yeah.
Because now I have Hulk strength.
Yeah. I have a gun that I could shoot this guy with, but instead I'm gonna fucking
I might
run
die
this
in the
guy like he's a
collapse.
linebacker.
It was rad, man. I
I
thought it
really
was
like
totally-
the taking out
totally
the
good.
pillar.
His choreography was really good, and actually, I found myself actually liking Vanessa Hudgens in this movie.
She was
which,
awesome.
It's not
Yeah.
that I dislike her. It's not that at all. It's just I was like, I saw her name pop up. I was like, oh, we're good. This puts this movie at a slightly lower caliber for me, and I thought she did a good job. Actually,
I didn't love her until the nightclub scene when she was undercover and doing a lot of the undercover
Yeah,
stuff. I
that
was
she
like,
did a
oh,
good
okay,
job
cool.
with
I
that.
like this dynamic to your character.
But
I
more
liked her
than
being the
just it.
fangirl to.
Yeah,
Mike
that's-
Lowry.
that's
I like the
awesome.
guy who didn't give a shit about Mike.
I
Calling him Michael and
hated
stuff.
it.
I like the team,
I like
man.
that.
I just felt like the team was. I think the team just had too much screen time. I think they
Yeah.
needed to be a little secondary. And they had Vanessa Hudgens, who was a bigger name. She's the only name that I recognize out of that whole team. I'm sure one of the guys is probably
That
a
dude's
fucking
coming up.
YouTuber
Yeah.
or whatever. But like,
Jerk dude or
was
big
he
dude?
Jerk
the
dude.
guy from The Sun is also a star?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, okay. So he's like a teen heartthrob guy. That's great. I think that's fine, but to me that was just such a weird choice because I feel like the director was like, we have these two old motherfuckers who everyone came to see, but we have to balance that out with some young energy and potentially have a door open for a franchise later with this fucking team of people that are completely not compelling. It's like, I wish they had just, and I guess I'm just reacting because I'm used to when there is a team, you don't give a fuck about those people. It's all about Mike Lowry and
Yeah,
Marcus
yeah.
Burnett. And in this, it was so weird to have him talk shit. And I'm like, oh, you're trying to humanize these people? You're trying to make them three-dimensional? No, they're not going to be.
Still, and I do want to call it specifically. I thought the captain was awesome.
The captain's
I
great.
loved her
The
and
new
everything. Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh,
sorry,
I thought you
my
meant
apologies. Captain
Joe.
dude. What's the woman's name?
Nobody
Rita.
knows.
Rita. Rita. I loved Rita. I thought she was
fine,
great
but
haircut.
but I also I just
great
hate when they
haircut.
introduce characters and they're like, you guys have a history together, and I'm like, no,
Yeah,
it's not.
it's
gonna
such a
show it.
17 years,
Yeah, it's been
Nick.
17 years.
I know, but I just
And it
I'm
gave
like,
a
you
little
guys
bit
don't
more-
fucking know each other. You're not that good. Like, at no point did I believe those two people had a history together,
I
of
did.
romantic.
Oh, I did. I thought
I
about
did
it a
too.
lot.
I immediately
Uh,
started envisioning
Had
things.
some
Right?
dreams, right? Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Well, one of the things I didn't like about the new team, it made it feel very like cookie cutter, where it was like, look, this is the new team and they're using technology, and then also made the team seem really stupid, where it's like, hey, cut to 6 months later, and it's like, what have they figured out?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. They're
Very
literally
little, and it's
6
just
months.
like, all right.
6 months later, like we're following up with a lead we
Yeah.
had 6 months ago. Like,
6
months
months
ago
later,
for
they're
a
like,
bullet.
we got these bullets. It's like we've known that.
You have
Yeah.
those bullets.
Literally, you pulled them out of me.
Yeah, having him get shot and then be in the hospital for 6 months was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I love that.
Me
Because
too.
I liked
when
it
he
too.
started the running, I was like, oh, this seems like they're setting something up. And then the car pulled up, or the bike pulled up, and I'm like, and then they shot him like, there's got to be paintballs. And then they were on top of him calling for ambulance. Like, this is, I personally think, a powerful scene.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I was like, I did not see this coming. Usually I feel like you know every beat of a movie. I did not see this coming. And then to have the mom call, or I told you to kill him last. I was like, that's pretty good.
The twist of it being his son, I loved it. It's just like, this is the dumb type of shit that I'm here for.
When
I agree with that.
when it was revealed that like there was some sort of twist with the dad, like I felt like that was really early on where they kind of set it up. And
Did they?
This is how dumb I was, though. I thought it was gonna be Johnny Tapia's.
I
kid.
did too, and like
That's what I was like.
think
Oh, if it's Johnny Tapia's kid,
I was so excited for that
'Cause we never
get
saw the
moment
wife.
where they open the coffins that are
Yeah.
full of money.
I
and
was
I'm
like, that's Johnny
that's
Tapia's.
Johnny Tapio's move. But I did
man.
like it being not Johnny Tapio's and not this random characters. But I do think that creates a lot of problems because it's like, what do we know about this woman?
She built Mike Lowry.
She built Mike Lowry, then got arrested and has been in jail this whole time. So she didn't raise this kid.
No.
Neither did the
But he
dad.
fell with the
The
cartel.
system raised the kid.
Yeah, the cartel
Yeah, but it
did.
just I feel like that's
The cartel
such a,
has
like,
excellent
weird,
healthcare.
And he's like super like, yes, mom, I'll do anything. Breaks her out. I just feel like that.
You
is
fucked
such
a married
weak point.
witch?
That was a
Yo,
good
if you were
moment.
gonna fuck a married witch, would you
wear
use
a
a condom?
condom?
Yes, I would.
A lot of that sequence I had me
That was
dying.
great.
I will say that the captain dying got me
Yeah?
real hard.
Oh, yeah.
When
Like,
that
how
shot
the
happened,
fuck did they make it multiple emotional moments in this movie? But the captain?
no, I,
Well, it's
I
just
think
so well done of just like building on the little parts that work from the last two trash fires, and then this one being like in the beginning when they, like we're gonna hurt him and take it, and I'm like people around him are gonna die. I'm like, don't fucking touch the captain. And then I kind of forgot about it. It seemed like we were moving away from it, and then he has this great speech with him in the bleachers, and I'm like, they won't ice the captain
Great
in the
speech.
bleachers
I don't
during the
think it
game.
was a
And then when they were walking
Yeah,
through the
no.
fucking thing, I was like, oh shit,
Oh,
it was
shit.
human.
It was-
It's like when I give you a speech, Andy.
But here's the thing. Tonally, though, I didn't know what they wanted me to gather from this speech. While he's giving Mike Lowry
It's a joke.
this life lesson, I didn't know. Like, I'm like, is this supposed to be funny or?
in the beginning, it
what's
was funny.
happening?
Classic captain. Can't remember
Classic
the
Cap,
details,
man.
But at the end, he gets there. That horse is what you think you're supposed to be leading you, but it's not. You have to lead the horse.
And as they were doing it, I'm like, what?
I fucking-
this isn't work. Like the writing of all of this is not working.
I
right
felt
Yeah,
now.
fucking
I thought
fundamentally
so,
changed.
Like
too.
your writing chops are not this high to
Well,
have
because
like
when
this
you-
Walter White moment where he's
This-
talking to
yeah.
Jesse. Like
There was a moment where he was like, do you understand the meaning of this? And in the audience, I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
No.
No. Is the horse life and you have to take life by the reins? Are
Yeah.
you supposed to get control
That
of
was-
your
that
life?
was right.
Is that the concept?
The
of it?
his life was leading him. He has to lead his life.
Yeah.
I did.
But also,
think-
he's 50 now, and is this right to have
Yeah,
a child
that's
now?
true
Like
too,
this
yeah.
was the other weird thing where they were like, Mike, you got to settle down. I'm like, that time has passed. Him settling down at 55? No, you're gonna no. Your life
be
is where
fine.
it's
It'll
at.
be
What are you gonna do?
fine.
You're gonna father a kid, and then right when he graduates, you fucking kick the bucket? Like it's not gonna
No,
happen.
people live longer now. Will
know,
Smith
man.
gonna live to 100.
It's
Mike
like
Low-
it's
bulletproof
just,
Mike Lowry.
Bulletproof Mike.
Yeah.
They call him that
But
all the time, just like in part 1 and 2.
It's just weird to see Marcus. I know, right? It's weird to see Marcus
17
Burnett,
years, dude.
who's like a grandfather.
Pop,
He's
pop.
had this life, and like his life's like they're in their sunset years, and so to have the theme of this movie be Mike, it's time to like slow down. Like dude, you're like 90. You're done.
You look
Your
good with that
life's
kid,
done.
Mike.
Yeah.
Or that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but having said that, like I feel, and this has been a problem with all the Bad Boys movies, where it's just like I don't think they know what the message is. Like I don't think they give a fuck. The message is
Shoot you,
these are
have
bad
fun.
cops, and they fucking do whatever the fuck they want. And there are no rules. Like
Right.
that's the message.
So-
Because even when you end this, though, it's like they said that was the whole kind of dynamic of the movie, but it ends with. No, Bad Boys for life. We're not retiring. Neither of us are retiring.
Yeah.
I'm not settling down.
Yeah, but he's gonna
we
settle
are
down.
gonna keep
Him
doing
and Rita
this.
are gonna have a
But-
baby. Like
but-
it was clear.
Yeah, but and that's what I guess that didn't vibe with me in this movie, right? Was they tried to ground it, and when in trying to do so, it just destroyed what the absurdity of what a Bad Boys movie is supposed to be. And so I was like, all right. I mean, again, I enjoyed the movie. I actually did. I'll agree with whoever said there were parts of it that were boring. Like I think it was Greg. I wish they could cut out like maybe 20 minutes out of this and just give me the experience. If this would be a movie I watched on Netflix, I would have fucking loved it because I could have paused, gone to the bathroom, come back, maybe not paid attention, been on my phone a little bit. But I don't know. I'm done talking.
It's hard for me to.
And I've said all I need to say.
It's
about
hard for me
it.
to understand why I like the Fast franchise more than this. When I don't think the Fast.
See, to me, the Fast franchise is exactly this.
No,
it's
but
way better. The action
hold on.
sorry,
But
sorry.
I just don't know why I like those movies more, and I think it's because when there are two actors like Martin Lawrence and Will Smith who we have seen be great and be legitimately good on screen. I guess I expect more from that. And I don't know why I'm so easy to dismiss the ridiculous nature of the Fast franchise when this has a lot of that too. But when it's in the Bad Boys universe, it's just not as good to me. And I wish I could, explain my thoughts why. It's just really hard.
I honestly believe it's the relationship building that Fast and the Furious does a better job, where it's like we care about the dynamics more. And like I think that's why it took so many of the Fast and Furious movies for us to really be like, all right. I mean, it isn't until what?
Is it because there's no 6 Bad Boys though?
Maybe. I mean, honestly, to that point, like, and this is thing I was thinking about too, was that I think that's why I had sort of a lesser reaction to Hobbs and Shaw, was that same reason where I think the heart of the reason why Fast and Furious is so fun is because you have like 6 or 7 people that are all interested, like. When they're together, you have that fun dynamic, and secondly, you have these action sequences that are so like creative and scripted, fun. Like the choreography for them is so cool, and they fucking drop planes out of like what it's that escalation of how can we do something crazier this time, and that's what I was kind of looking for with this, but it was a lot more subdued. Where like
Sure.
I like the things that are candy for me about Bad Boys are the
Getting all choked up thinking about the captain.
I think the sugar-free Red Bull just closed up my throat. Maybe it's too much caffeine. But I like that crazy. He's driving a fucking Ferrari this time. What's he gonna drive a Lambo next time? Like
Back to the Porsche.
all this. Oh, actually, I love the Porsche in this one as well. But yeah, I just felt like this one was like a slight. It was just slightly slower than I wanted it to be. Whereas Fast and Furious is all about like, how do we get these people we love in an even crazier situation and have more fun?
Yeah.
It's about having fun. It's about what can they be chased at next? How about a submarine? That's a great idea. Let's do a submarine. Like no bad ideas in the Fast and Furious franchise. Whereas this one was like, also there's just nothing fun about watching guys become grandparents. It's just not fun.
Yeah.
Speaking about that, one of my favorite moments is when the baby has just been born. Martin Lawrence is a grandfather. We're gonna name him exactly your name. And it's like, yeah, we thought that'd be a good gesture, and it pans over, it's fucking Reggie.
Goddamn, Reggie.
I
God damn
love
it.
that moment.
That's
Loved
why,
it.
again, it wasn't worth the 5 hours of misery, but that moment
was
was
a little
worth
bit,
it.
yeah.
That moment was worth it.
Fucking
That
Reggie
is
did.
hilarious.
And the fucking
Yeah.
speech at the wedding or whatever from
Yeah.
Uncle Mike.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Ride
Hell
together,
yeah, man.
die together.
And then
Bad
they're
Boys
all
for
in
life.
on it. I was just like, I love this.
Fuck
So-
yes.
But I
I'll-
agree with you where I wish the movie would like get stupider. But like be stupider where it makes sense in one consistent vision.
Yeah.
Because Bad Boys 1 2 are just stupid. They're just stupid.
They're bananas.
This has I don't think this has any stupid moments, or at least not enough of them. Like Martin Lawrence kind of getting separated on the little motorcycle side thing.
That was pretty dumb.
That was pretty
That was pretty
funny.
dumb.
But I'm with you. Where
It was super funny. I love that. And especially when he went underneath the
Underneath.
truck.
No, I
I
love
shit,
that.
my bad.
I wanted more of that. It's
Okay,
like that was
apologies,
the
my
only
apologies.
example of that type of absurdist
You mean over the top sort of?
Yeah.
Fast
Yeah,
and Furious
yeah.
shit. Like otherwise, it was fairly run of the mill action scenes. They were good, but just not like over the fucking top.
Sure.
I did.
But with Fast and Furious, I feel like I've been saying that 1 and 2 of Bad Boys are like to me not even close to the worst Fast and Furious. This one I put firmly in the middle of Fast and Furious movies, where I feel like it works on the level of a Fast 4 of like it went back. It's trying to like figure out like what makes Bad Boys special, and it's not necessarily the over the top crazy shit. It is the dynamics between them and the captain and the family around them. And I love that it ends with a barbecue. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like there's a lot of things I'm like this is a smaller story that works for me. And if they were to do sequels, I wonder how much bigger they'd go. But I just don't think that's what Bad Boys is at the end of the day. I think it is smaller.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I kudos to them for and the director and the team for trying to examine Bad Boys and to be like, because a lot of this movie was a commentary on the other Bad Boys, where it's like we're not those people anymore. We're not these like hyper masculine, hyper violent people anymore.
Mike says,
like,
I love you first. That was cool.
Yeah, we're a lot more self-aware. We've grown. We've progressed. And this movie was a lot more progressive than the other ones were.
Totally.
There's a couple scenes where I was
yeah,
like,
where it was
no,
still
not so
like,
much.
yeah,
But
it's like you're still Mike Lowry.
but we had the commentary on the old versus new, right? We have this new young team of people who use technology and they're not just these blunt objects like Mike Lowry is, although there's time and a place for that. So I mean, I give the director and the team a lot of credit for like, hey, let's try to they tried to make a better movie than I think Michael Bay did with Bad Boys 2, which was he was just like, let's throw cocaine and money at everything and just see what we get on film. Yeah, but
Did this movie reveal that Mike Lowry could speak Spanish the entire time?
hell yeah, he can.
Okay.
Hell
He's
yeah,
super
he
good
can.
at it.
Yeah.
He's great at it.
I love that fucking
one
moment
line-
when the fucking his son in the helicopter, which we glossed over, but I just love that moment when he said it to him and Mike Lowry had, and Jen and me both were like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, that's cool. We understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, I was gonna say something else. There was a line where the mom is talking to the son who's been in America for some time taking over stuff, and she's like, "You sound like one of them," and it's like, yeah, his Spanish is not great.
Was
I
it
thought
not great?
No,
interesting.
He had a funny like.
How was
English-
her Spanish? Was good though, right?
Her
I
Spanish-
feel like she's a really
she's a Latin
really
actor.
famous
Yeah.
Latin actor.
You thought
yeah.
that? You think? Oh, I thought it was.
Oh no, I was like, oh, this sounds like someone who like isn't fully fluent or like
Sure,
doesn't
yeah.
practice all the time.
Interesting.
Also,
Gotcha.
one
Yeah.
thing too, just for my own edification here on the whole witch business of her being a witch, in the scene where they murder the guard,
Yeah.
when she turns around and is making an incantation, the guard's like,
I didn't
like
understand
what the fuck is
Yeah,
happening?
that was really weird.
It's- I think it's a superstitious thing where it's
She's
like
saying
the
something
guard-
that's like-
and the guard's like freaking out because like, why is this woman turning around? I'm gonna beat her in a second.
Yeah, okay,
No,
okay,
really
cool,
good.
cool.
But I did a couple moments that I want to talk about that I actually did like. I like that scene
Yeah.
where everyone's
Hell
coming
yeah.
over and stabbing,
Yeah, I was
and it's
freaked
like
out.
it easy to tell what's immediately gonna happen. But again, I liked her
Get it.
get it like putting on the clothes and sneaking.
That was
out.
cool.
I
Yeah.
thought that was cool.
I actually think-
ridiculous that nobody noticed that. Like, oh, I guess they wouldn't know.
That
That
was like
she's
chaos.
covered in
Yeah.
blood.
I actually liked a lot of the stuff. I think the bad guys were fun. I think the mom was interesting and crazy and kind of over the top, but I think she did a good job with
was
the role.
dope.
And I think the son, that actor is good.
He was cool.
He was
Yeah.
really
He
good.
was good.
Choreography is really fucking
He was
good.
very stoic for a lot of
Yeah.
like
And
the murder scenes.
it was
His
a smart
opening
choice.
scene,
Yeah.
the opening scene that like with all that, I was just like,
Fuck.
we are in for
Okay.
something special.
It
man.
reminds me of the choice they made, Richard Donner made when they did Lethal Weapon 4, where they were like, okay, Danny Glover can't move that much anymore. Mel Gibson is not what he used to be back in the 80s and 90s. Who can we cast opposite these guys that's going to be so fucking badass no one's going to notice that they can't move fast anymore? Oh, I know. Jet Li.
That's
Let's
fucking
get
good
Jet
choice.
Li
That was a
to
great
fucking
choice.
beat the shit out of everyone, and it's going to be really fun to watch. And they did, and it worked out well.
Huge shout out too to the helicopter scene again when he's there shooting the rocket launcher and he's like in Solid Snake's sneaking suit.
Yeah.
I was
Oh, yeah.
like, that is fucking
Let's
awesome. He
go.
looks awesome.
And then one other scene that I would just really quickly want to touch on that I really liked was was it the first fight, like gun scene where they're in the like a garage?
Yeah, that was a
and
cool
there's
scene. That was
paint
well done.
fucking exploding
Oh, yeah,
everywhere.
that was
I know
well
it's-
shot.
Yeah, I thought
Totally
it was
Rage.
really well shot.
It reminded me of Rage.
Yeah,
Really.
yes.
I also loved the final the final fight scene, final set piece, and we didn't see that in the trailer, which was cool because it's that thing where you watch a movie and you're just like, oh, how many more scenes do we have from the trailers?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this,
yeah.
like, we got places. I was like, huh, didn't know we're gonna end up in this little like Coliseum looking thing.
Yeah.
But like, I'm a sucker for action scenes that are taking place on multiple
Yeah.
levels. And
I
when
like
there
that
was
camera
cameras-
turn
oh, that's
cool.
where
Dude, this
she's
is
running,
cool,
firing up.
man.
But
That was sick.
but see, so there was a couple shots though. This is what I hated about this movie was that you had that shot, and then we cut to a shot where it's a steady cam shot, and it's moving around everyone, but it's shot with super deep focus, and it looks like it's done on like a bad handy cam for a TV, and then it goes to that amazing shot of them flipping over the camera. I'm like, why would they do the other shot?
You
Why
also
would they
have
do any of this?
the shot where like the witch is getting killed. She kicked into the fire, and it's
I can
just
smell
like
my ass burning.
that CG just did not look good.
It was fine.
I thought-
Well, I
That's
mean,
fine.
yeah,
That
I mean,
was
we're obviously this movie's had some crazy stuff in it, but like, yeah, I did think that last. Well, first off, I want to point out that I hope if they ever make another Bad Boys movie, the hallmark of this franchise is that they have to invade another country at the end of every movie.
Yeah.
they
I
just
love
have
it,
to do
man.
it. I was like, are they gonna fucking invade Mexico? Yep, they invaded Mexico.
We've been waiting for y'all to stop cursing, by the way, so we can get to the ads.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Every time Kevin opens his mouth, I'm just like, ah. I love the
chain.
necklace though.
Setting up.
It's a good necklace. It's fantastic.
chain.
We're literally
Yeah.
about to cut to a one shot. I can do it then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is brought to you by ButcherBox. ButcherBox is the meat delivery subscription that gives you more time for what matters most. Each month, they send us a box of high-quality meat for a better price than the grocery store, which gives you more time to spend cooking and sharing delicious meals with friends and family. I love this. I love this meat. Kevin loves this meat.
So good.
It's so
I wrote a
good
song
meat.
for him.
You did?
Butcher Box, we love our Butcher Box.
No, that's from Friends. That's
Yeah,
Smelly Cat from Friends.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, it works for the Butcher Box as well because this meat is good. All meat is free of antibiotics and added hormones. Each box has 9 to 11 pounds of meat. It's a lot of meat. Enough for 24 individual meals for most people. Packed fresh and shipped frozen and vacuum sealed so it stays that way. You can customize your box or go with one of theirs. Easy. Either way, you get exactly what you're ordering there. It's the best meat shipped right to your door, which means one less trip to the grocery store, saving you a ton of time. With ButcherBox, you get the highest quality meat around for just $6 a meal, and they even have free shipping nationwide, except for Alaska or Hawaii. Sorry, guys. Right now, you can get 2 pounds of salmon absolutely free, plus $20 off your first box. The salmon was really good. Just go to butcherbox.com/morning or use promo code morning at checkout. That's butcherbox.com/morning. Use promo code morning at checkout. Now, shout out to Manscaped. Support for the Kind of Funny Morning Show comes from Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. It's 2020. You know what that means. New year, new me, new balls, Andy.
New ones.
New balls. Yeah. No more dirty balls.
Not upgraded ones. Just new. We're replacing them.
Listen up. Hairy bushes are so 2019. If you're trying to pick any New Year's resolution this year, take care of your junk, man. Do yourself a favor. Do the people around you a favor. Manscaped's redesigned the electric trimmer. Their Lawnmower 2.0 has proprietary skin-safe technology, so this trimmer won't nick or snag your nuts. Ain't that right, Greg?
I have never had my nuts nicked or snagged with my Manscaped package that
Yeah.
I've been using and enjoying.
Those days are over, man. I used to nick them all the time, and it was
Gross.
not good.
I don't
I'd
need to
still,
know
I'd
that.
still
I don't
push
need to know
through, though. I'd still push through. But now Manscaped, I've just been clean. Just been clean down there like a baby seal. You can get 20% off plus free shipping with the code MORNING at manscaped.com. Start the new year off right by using the best tools for the job. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code MORNING at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code MORNING. Finally, shout out to Upstart. Over at Upstart, they are here to help you with your credit situations. Upstart's the revolutionary lending platform that offers smarter rates to help you pay off high-interest credit card debt. Upstart goes beyond the traditional credit score when assessing your credit worthiness. They actually reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter rate. One of my friends is going through some issues right now, and this education stuff, totally helping him out. Upstart believes you're more than just your credit score. They believe in you and who you are. They make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate. Since it's just a soft pull, it won't affect your credit score. The hard pull happens if you accept your rate. The best part is once the loan's approved and accepted, most people get their funds the very next business day. You can see why Upstart is ranked #1 in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot, and hurry to upstart.com/morning to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes. That's upstart.com/morning. Back to it.
The other scene I want to give a call out to is when they have to use the minivan and they pick up Mike and then they have to drop the baby off in the spa
What a
or whatever. So funny. Then they get there after arguing, they get out of the car and immediately the body falls
Oh
on
my
it.
God. I love it. He's like,
So
I
great.
hope that was a safe or a piano.
That whole sequence is just like that was sort of a perfect moment of I wish this whole movie was like this.
Yeah,
I wish the
100%.
movie had this
too.
tone because it hit on the ridiculousness of a body falling on Marcus's wife's minivan.
Yeah.
And it being really, and that's a funny thing, right? Because we know how scared he is of his wife, and we
Yeah.
know how pissed off she's going to get that he's back in it or whatever.
Yeah,
so a
yeah,
body
yeah.
falling on the van is like
But-
the ultimate, oh my God. And again, I love watching flustered Marcus. I think it's the funniest thing.
Him driving
And that was
home.
so great, dude.
But even right before that, when they get to the place and like, all right, you got to drop off the kid. And he's like, I'm not going to do it. And he's like, well, I guess we're not going. We can't wait. And it's one of those things that like, then we go see Will Smith drop off the kid. Hella
I know.
scared and nervous. Be like, I'm sorry.
It was so funny,
like,
man.
Yeah, that whole sequence, very good.
Yeah.
And
The
I wish
women walking by in the crosswalk and like
Yeah,
and
Mount
Will
Lar-
Smith
yeah.
getting all low and start
Yeah.
talking the horn.
I think that scene worked. I think the club scene was really cool. Like the guy that jumped on the truss and shit like that.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of neat.
Was he the other guy from Epic Mealtime?
Yes, he looked like Tyler, right? He looked like Tyler Lemko.
He's that reggaeton guy.
He's a reggaeton guy.
Zuelo.
Zuelo, yeah.
Yeah. He's an actual.
Wait, that's
like,
his actual
real
name?
name?
Yeah.
Wow, that's some good branding.
I love that.
Yeah.
No, his name's not Suelo. That
Oh,
was
it's
his
not?
character's name. It was,
Oh shit. Never mind.
Nicky J's or Z's. We had to look that up. Bear, can you look at that guy's name up? Look up
Put like Bad Boys reggaeton
actor.
actor.
Interesting.
Jams. I want to say Nicky Jams, something like that. Anyway,
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Similar to how Fast and Furious they have
Yeah, the Don
the
Don
two
Omar.
guys. Yeah, Don Omar.
So there were elements that I thought were cool, but yeah, to that
Nicky
point,
Jam.
Nicky Jam. But I was just like, I don't know. There's just a lot of it was lacking for me, unfortunately.
But I
these
feel like that's
movies-
the whole series.
For these movies, the
Fair.
thing that I
Yeah.
look for is at least one, but hopefully multiple moments that make me go, you know? And it's in Fast and Furious 8 when he goes off the thing and like blocks the goddamn missile with his car, you know? And you're just
Yeah.
like, let's fucking go. I love that this movie, it's predictable. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. As long as you get there and you get that result. When he goes, he's like, come on, man, one last ride. And he just doesn't reciprocate with the thing. And you're just like, oh, you know they're going to do this
Yeah,
later.
they're gonna do it again.
And then they did. And then I was just like,
But it wasn't even very good though. That was my problem with
no,
it.
dude, I loved it. I
The-
totally disagree. I thought they really earned it. And I feel like in the last two movies, our slow-mo shots suck.
Yeah,
the
but
iconic moments that we always talk about were lame as fuck.
I,
with
just, I
Andy
wanted
and
to I wanted to see more sort of anger from Marcus when the captain is shot. Because we saw him on the couch and he's like he's crying and his wife comes and kind of like pats him on the back and like consoles him and it's such a short moment. And then the very next scene is Will Smith on the roof looking at the city, the beautiful sunset Miami. And then Marcus just pops up out of nowhere. Is like, one last time. And it was fine, but it could have been so much better. It could have been such a cooler
again, it's
moment.
the way it's shot, right? So much of this movie was shot so straightforward that I'm like, that's the style that's missing right there, right? Why didn't we get a close up of the fucking hands? Maybe we did. I don't know. But the beat was like, but the editing was just like a little too fast. This is a big moment. This is the moment where they decide we're going into the third act. I'm back on. Let's fucking ride or die one more time. And it just kind of felt like
I would have appreciated more.
It was a little
downtime.
underwhelming. That's
I would
all.
have appreciated more downtime with Marcus in that moment, and we see sort of how the captain dying, this guy who he looked, kind of like a father figure almost, how that affected him. And then you know what I wanted? I wanted the recent Overwatch 2 short moment. Where suddenly,
There's that-
like
the-
Mike Lowry's like in the moment and he's about to go do this thing on his own, and he turns around or something, or you hear
Cavalry's
footsteps,
here.
and then you see the cavalry is here, and Marcus is back, and it's like, oh shit, he actually came back.
Nerdy games, nobody knows.
It's in Avengers. It's the Portals moment from Avengers.
Oh,
that
now
sort
you
of
put it in
thing.
words I
Yeah,
understand.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
all
agree
right.
and disagree in the same vein, right? Where I feel, honestly, the scene of him in his recliner and his wife coming in was powerful and drove home to me without words, which is impressive for a Bad Boys movie, let alone this one. The fact that when she puts her head on his chest, first she comes in to comfort him, but then I felt was the acceptance of, I get it, baby. You got to go back. You got to go do this. You got to go do it. So I thought that scene was awesome. And then I'm with you, with the other side of the coin that, yeah, the scene of them one last time didn't nail it, let alone when they pulled it all the way out. You see that Will Smith's at his apartment complex's shared pool,
yeah.
all the way it went in. So literally Will Smith's staring at the city and he hears the door open and close. Martin Lawrence slowly walking him for 10 seconds, then get there, never acknowledging him. Then it's like one last time.
I guess.
view,
I
though.
guess I.
Yeah.
Like it drove the point home that Marcus is sad about the captain dying.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all I really got
totally
from that.
read him being like, I got to do this.
Yeah.
I, don't
I
wanna
needed
do
more.
this.
I needed
Yeah.
more like revenge. Like
Okay.
I needed more solemn, sad,
wanted to
and
see
then
him-
and then the tone changed to like him looking up and doing something. You know,
Cock
like,
looking at
oh
her,
shit, whoa, you
Looking
know.
at
I
his
think
wife
that's-
and her being like, "Get him, baby,
Yeah.
get him."
I just think that's beyond Martin Lawrence's
Yeah.
range at this point.
No, I don't think so.
I just do.
I mean, you're not wrong though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
we gonna play this? Are we gonna
Yeah,
play this video from?
Well,
the
I mean, the
I
him
feel-
calling kind of like changed the context.
Yeah.
of the
I want to
stuff.
see what he sent.
Well,
though.
we'll do it at the end. We'll do it at the end. Is there any like final thoughts on this movie before we get into Ragu Bagu?
no. The Porsche was dope.
I'll say this. I am really happy I didn't have to pay to watch this movie.
I'll say
I'll-
this. I hope we never get another Bad Boys movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't
I'll
know.
say this.
I don't
I'm
know. I
calling
can
it-
see.
I'll say this. It's already been reported while we were recording
Yeah.
this episode that Bad Boys 4 is already in
production.
development.
gonna happen.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
And it's
They've
gonna happen
they've
next
done
time.
the thing too though. They've painted themselves into the Statham Fast and Furious corner.
Yeah,
Like now
the
I'm working with my
enemy.
son. Cool, your son killed the captain, a judge, and all these people. Like, I understand he didn't understand.
I mean, yeah, whatever.
I love the
I
captain.
think
I'll never
killing
forgive.
the captain. Killing the captain is too far.
I mean, no, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're gonna go that direction with it. But we'll see.
I think they totally are, especially with the way it ended.
No, but,
but
Tim made a great point when we left the movie. Is that obviously that looks like a future movie sort of thing where he walks up to his son and his son is arrested and he tells his son, by the way, like when his son is kind of like fucked up, he's like, hey, you're gonna have to serve some time, man. Like this, I can't just let you.
I
out.
like that too. I like that too.
And then at the very, very end, the post credit, was it post credits or
Yeah.
I mean, it was post
like
mid
mid credit or
credits,
whatever.
yeah.
But he walks up to his son and is like, hey, maybe I got a little job that can maybe lessen the sentence a little bit.
Yeah.
So immediately I'm thinking, oh, they're trying to set up something for the future. We're probably never going to get that because I don't think this movie's going to do that great. Apparently it isn't, so that good for them. But then Tim said, no, I think that's just the filmmaker saying the son isn't completely fucked. That, the son had kind of got the shitty end of the stick here. And we're just showing the audience, hey,
They had to close it up.
He's not going to be in jail for life miserable. It looks like his son, him and his real father, Michael are going to actually have some sort of relationship. And yes, we may lower your sentence a little bit.
I mean, what it'll probably be, right, is Bad Boys 4 it'll start traditionally with them having to do something. It goes awry. There's a bigger plot point. They start working with Adam Stars. What was this fucking crew of the young kids called?
Ammo.
Start working with
Adam
them, right?
Stars.
And then it's like it's in the middle of it. Well, Ammo, because Adam, or what is it? What is it? Ammo sounds like Adam, so that's where I went. And then Stars because of Stars from fucking
Adam, like
Resident Evil.
ATOM.
Yeah.
I heard like Adam. Adam
Me
Stars.
too. That's
Up
what
and
I
Adam.
thought,
And then they'll be like, we're in over our head. We need an undercover. I got just the guy. And it'll be him coming out of fucking prison.
I do think it's a little ridiculous that he went from being like a bad guy that's like had some morals of like
bad
no
guy.
killing innocence,
Yeah, but
to like
they
being
only
like,
had that once.
Yeah, I felt bad. What do you mean?
I hated that
No innocence.
the no innocence line was just thrown in once.
But
see,
that
I
was
know.
to
His son.
establish that he's got rules,
But I actually liked that, and that gave him a little bit of redeemable quality because to him he was like, these people are. It's a war against these people, and he's still a bad guy. But at least they tried to humanize him a little bit.
Yeah.
But but with one throwaway line though, that was my problem with it. I wish that they
Showed that
had
more.
that
I mean,
at
he
least
is a
2 or 3 more
cold-blooded
times.
murderer.
I wish
Yes.
they had that at least 2 or 3 more times. But in that moment where the sniper scope
Yeah.
is zoomed in on Mike Lowry and
It's
there's
like,
a woman in
"Shoot
front of
through
him,
her, shoot through
and you
her."
don't really understand, and he goes, "No innocence," and it's like, oh, I guess you're not
Yeah, you've got
completely
rules.
horrible,
Yeah.
but we're learning this 3 killing scenes later.
Yeah,
wanna
you're
give
also
a-
doing drive-bys. and,
Yeah.
like,
I want to give
people
a
are
shout
saying-
out to the John Wick moment as well, where they were decided that they went into this one part of town that was just completely controlled by this gang. I love that.
Don't
I was
try
like, wait,
that
is
way.
this what we're doing? Are we doing John Wick? Where like every town, every part of the town is controlled by some level of this weird, cool gang. I liked them, and it was like the motorbike gang with the cool. Like I just love motocross gang.
I like that.
I just love them.
Solid
Come on.
It's cool. They're always cool.
They just come out of nowhere. Like I didn't hear that motorcycle.
It's a good thing that they were barely shooting when they were following people. Well, like when they were following Mike Lowry and the little and the
Yeah, good thing,
Marcus.
too, 'cause they
yeah,
have
they weren't
no
shooting that
cover.
much. You
Yeah.
know, so that's nice.
Well, they couldn't shoot much because trying to get away in a motorcycle is not the smartest when it has a sidecar and you're
Yeah.
going very slowly.
Well, no,
Because-
Mike was shooting a lot. He kept turning around with like.
No, I just mean like it was weird that they were like in every movie where there's a chase scene, obviously like you have to show bullets ricocheting, like almost hitting them, like glass breaking, but you can't hit them. In this one, they were
Got
like,
it.
we don't have anything for the bullets to hit except for the back of the sidecar. So every once in a while they would cut and they'd be like, bing, bing, bing.
There were a couple-
otherwise they're just exposed bodies.
There were a couple of really bad moments where I noticed some really badly tracked muzzle flashes on guns, where like a scene is moving and a gun is moving, and you see like a muzzle flash like not moving with the gun, and then the motorcycle chase scene where Martin Lawrence is in the little sidecar, which is really funny. It made me laugh a lot, but there were a lot of really bad moments where they cut to sort of a closer shot, and it's obviously green screen, fast moving background,
Right.
and it looked almost like what Speed Racer does.
Yeah.
But this isn't Speed Racer,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it looked like a lot more stylized of a background.
There
It
was
wasn't
one
very
moment
good.
where Martin Lawrence, like you could see like a white kind of like the lighting wasn't perfect, and I was just like, "Pa, do you see that green screen?" And she's just like,
the
yeah.
fuck up.
Shut up.
I want to give a
Let's do
shout out to
Ragu
the,
Bagu.
a shout out to the homage to the
Bad
Pitbull.
guys.
You see
Oh,
that?
yeah,
that was
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Little nod they put
It
in
bit
there.
at him too.
Dun, 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 dun.
Rad
Rad
guys.
guys. Dun, dun, dun. Rad boys.
Okay.
Talk bad boys.
Do it again.
Do it again.
Bad boys. Talking bad boys.
What's up, guys? We're here ranking the bad boys of the Bad Boys universe. My name is Andy Cortez, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Greg Miller and Nick Scarpino.
Hi.
Where do we rank Martin Lawrence and Will Smith in this iteration
this
of Bad
is-
Boys
and that's
for
the
Life?
Where are we
thing,
going?
right?
Are we back and forth
Lower.
with this?
I think that they're just the worst boys. I think they're number 3 on the list.
Definitely.
Right? And Martin Lawrence's performance not that good. They're trying not to be bad boys. Like we're ranking them on being how bad
Remember
they are.
Good Boys?
Right?
Remember that
yeah,
part?
Yeah, the good,
That was
good
funny.
men,
Yeah,
good
yeah,
men.
yeah.
Yeah,
Good men, good men.
So you guys think with more conviction.
Yeah,
Maybe if
well,
you
not when
actually tried, it would have. They had a lot of good lines. in
Yeah,
this, man.
they had a
lot of good
fun
fucking lines
moments.
in this movie.
They also
love,
had the
love,
I was
love,
trying to
love.
penetrate his heart.
Yeah. Loved the reveal after the reveal, and Mike figures out that that's his kid or whatever, and he's talking to Martin Lawrence, and he's like, "You don't understand, Marcus. He's the bad version of me." And he's like, "No, Mike, you're the bad version of you."
I thought you were the fucked up version of you.
The airline scenes were also really
So
funny.
good.
I think they were
I
a
felt
little.
like they were
too long.
I
Too
think
long.
this is
Over the top.
the best buddiesness of them.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed
See,
them the most, but I
that's
don't
what I
think
thought we were
they're,
ranking.
they're bad boys.
Yeah, like what are the qualifications?
Well, I thought when we
for this?
reviewed,
But, like, as
I thought when we
individuals, they were the
remember.
worst they've
First
ever
off,
been.
we've done this. This is our third time. The second time we forgot what we were
ranked the
doing.
bad guys.
So it doesn't make
Touche,
it.
number
You don't
2.
keep notes. This is why you're not doing it in the next one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
what.
yeah.
I'll
Fuck. All right. Well, they
Number
There you go.
Number
There you
number
go.
1.
There you go,
That's the
guys.
ranking.
It's time for haiku and review.
7 syllables in the middle. You need 5 for the first and last line. If you're not poetic, no need to fret. Haikus don't need to rhyme. Haiku in review. Haiku in review. Now rank.
You can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny to write your review in haiku form, just like Schnick3 did. Haiku for Bad Boys for Life. So Bad Boys for Life mixed with Lethal Weapon 4 and the series here.
Yep.
And that's all we got.
That's fair.
That's
Okay.
all we
Okay.
got. That's
Okay,
all we
fair.
got,
Yeah,
'cause
that's
the
fair. It's a new
did-
movie,
The
new
movie
movie.
did just come out. It did just come out.
And it was empty for a while there.
Yeah.
I was really worried about
Yes,
it.
IMAX.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Theater.
giant IMAX. And
I really like
10 minutes
IMAX.
before the movie opened, I was like, "There's nobody
Dude,
here."
I
the
think that
preview
this-
started. There was tons of empty seats.
I think that's more of like movie theaters
Assigned
changing to
seating,
the
yeah.
people with assigned seating. Like we don't give a fuck.
Just get there whenever.
Yeah.
The preview for that Vin Diesel movie, that's something, huh?
Blood.
You didn't like
Oh,
it?
that hasn't come out
Bloodshot.
yet?
Bloodshot. No.
Yeah.
I thought that came out already.
No,
It did not.
no, no.
Oh,
like the
God,
preview?
Vin, stop. Just
I'm
make
all
Fast and
about
Furious.
it,
He needs to go back to fucking
I think Bloodshot might be cool.
Tenet, though.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh,
Tenet.
Tenet.
Rad.
Tenet
God,
and
it was
IMAX.
good.
You got
Man.
so excited when the Tenet
Dude.
trailer started. You were like, "Yeah!" I was like,
So
"What
wait,
the-"
I hadn't seen that trailer.
Me neither.
No shit.
Because yeah,
awesome
because
trailer.
so
It's not available, or do they release it now?
I don't know about that, but I hadn't seen that trailer. But before Star Wars, I saw like a 5-minute clip from the movie.
What?
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was like an extended like 5
Christopher Nolan come out and talk about it, or what?
Didn't we
What
see
the
Star Wars
shit?
together?
No,
Oh, you saw
the
it
second
again.
time. The
Okay.
second time I saw it, and then later I was asking you like, "Oh, did you see that?" And you're like, "Yeah, I saw it." Then you mentioned fuck.
John David Washington.
No, not him.
John J.
I
Robert
can't believe-
Pattinson.
Go find him, Schmidt.
Our Pat, Jesus,
Kenneth
Pattinson.
Branagh.
That's mine.
the white guy, the old white guy,
Oh, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. Yes,
Michael
Michael
Caine.
Caine. You mentioned
The
it, and I
old
was like, he wasn't in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know he's in the movie, but if he wasn't in the preview,
So you
and
just
it's-
saw a clip. You didn't see a trailer.
It's a straight. It was like a 5-minute
Wow.
clip, and it was the most
Whoa.
tense, awesome fucking thing. It reminded me of Dark Knight Rises, the beginning scene, or like beginning of Dark Knight, even with like the
how we
Joker
just
shit.
started talking about Tenet for 5 minutes.
Fucking great.
Good
how
movie.
much this movie is
Goddamn.
amazing.
Good movie.
All right, we're gonna rank this bad boy.
But
What's up?
what's weird is somebody tweeted me and let me know what the
No,
fuck's up with
it's not.
that because
What's that?
the 5-minute clip. I don't
don't
see
know.
anyone talking about that.
I haven't seen
There's
it. I
just
haven't
some
seen
fun
either.
stuff in there.
It
man, you know what
happened,
I mean?
though.
I just
that
love
might
the
be
way
the
that
only
movie's
theater
set
that
up,
played it.
where he's like, a lot of people don't pass that test. You passed. It's like, did he die? What the fuck happened?
the fuck
and that guy's
happened?
good
It's
casting.
weird.
Like,
That's
what is
cool.
this?
It's
What the fuck's
weird.
happening?
Yeah, I can't
What's
wait.
happening?
I
in
can't
this?
wait.
Now it's
Our
time to
Pattinson
rank Bad
is-
Boys. Do we have a screen for this?
No, we always do it.
Number
We've
2.
only ever had a ranking whenever we reach a week 4.
That makes sense.
A fourth movie.
So anyway, number 1 right now is Bad Boys 2. Number 2 is Bad Boys 1. Where do we rank Bad Boys 3?
Number one.
Number one.
I think it's
What?
number 2, but
Oh, you got out.
Well, you and Josh
to me-
McCouga can cuddle in a
because to
bathtub
me,
and
what
cry.
Bad Boys is Bad Boys 2, where it's fucking crazy and it makes no
bad.
sense and it's
Bad
all
movie.
style and zero substance and there was, and just clubs where naked women are dancing in the rain and cocaine and crazy Russians.
Rats
and
are fucking.
Rats are fucking, and the action scenes are insane. And in this, we didn't get any of that. This is a much better movie than any of the other two Bad Boys. I cannot disagree with that at all. In
But
any
you
way, shape,
just
or form.
did. You
But
ranked
I think as far as Bad Boys movies are concerned,
But what he
Bad
wants
Boys
out of Bad
2
Boys is
No, I got it, I
is
got
the
it.
epitome of a Bad Boys movie. That's all I'll say.
So there you go. The new rankings are number 1, Bad Boys for Life. Number 2, Bad Boys 2. Number 3,
Yeehaw.
Bad
Hold that.
Boys. And there we go. We are going to leave this with the 3 back-to-back video messages from Josh McCouga that he was gonna have interspaced between this, but then he called, so it changed things. Anyway,
He's got bad opinions. Don't listen to him.
put us down and then put it up to them.
Wait, are we coming back?
No.
No.
So do you want to talk about what's next for in review?
Next in review is
John Wick.
DC EU in review. Man of Steel next week. Get hyped.
What's your
everybody.
costume look like for that?
I'm pretty excited for Man of Steel.
I'll tell you what. I'm excited. You know why? Because I have not seen Aquaman or Shazam.
Oh man, you're
I'm
in
excited
for
for both.
just an interesting
They're
ride.
long.
John Wick.
They are long.
You good for that, Barrett? Yeah. Until next time. Love you.
All right, I was going to give you guys just 2 videos, but I'm giving you 3 because I really feel like I was personally attacked by Greg Miller about Bad Boys 2. And now I know he's not exactly, babe. Jump in the background. And I know he's not going to like Bad Boys for Life because, like, I don't know. There's some I can't put my finger on why I think that Greg's not going to like it.
He's sick in the head.
He's sick in the head. But I will say this. I know Tim's going to love it. I know Nick's going to love it. I know Andy's going to love it. I know Kevin's probably going to like it. I know Barrett's probably going to love it. Joey, you better like it. What I will say is I guarantee a lot of the kind of funny audience will go with me on this one, that 17 years later, Bad Boys for Life is the greatest longtime follow-up and created one of the greatest trilogies in the history of action movies, if not the greatest trilogy in the history of action movies. You can take parts of the Fast and Furious. You could probably take Die Hards 1, 2, and 3. You could probably take Indiana Jones, but even though that's not really an action, it's more adventure. But we can all agree that Martin Lawrence and Will Smith have the best on-screen chemistry we've ever seen in movies. Don't argue. It's not an opinion. It's fact. Hashtag love you guys. So we don't have a camera person for this review of Bad Boys for Life, but what we do have is my long hairy arm telling you guys that Bad Boys for Life is fantastic. 17 years later, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence still have it. Babe, take it.
Oh, yeah. It is sick. Okay, kidding. But actually, I really loved it. I'd give it like a 4.5 out of 5. Great movie. Lots of action, lots of comedy. Best partnership, best friendship. I mean, doesn't get better than that, honestly.
Listen, it's what KFAF has. It's what Andy and Nick have. It's what Tim and Bomber Jackets
so
have.
Close to my face. Back it up.
Sorry, my bad. It's what Greg and Porty have. It's what Jen and Poutine have. It's what Kind of Funny and Best Friends have. It's the perfect chemistry.
It's what we have.
It's what we have. Exactly. We ride together.
We die together.
Bad Boys for Life. So this was going to be a review of Bad Boys for Life, but Tim Gettys tipped me off to the fact that Greg Miller doesn't like Bad Boys 2. And then we had a very disconcerting text conversation where he thought that I brainwashed my wife into liking Bad Boys 2, which is 100% false.
Okay, hold on. I got to say something to Greg.
Yeah, babe, take it. Go.
Greg, Bad Boys 2 and Bad Boys for Life are the greatest movies of all time. Martin Lawrence
Preach,
and Will
baby.
Smith are the greatest duo of all time.
Do tell
Name
'em.
a better one. Actually, don't. There might be a few. Either way, they're awesome. And my husband did not have to convince me to like the movies. He may have had to convince me to engrave our rings. But still, I do love the movies.
There you go, Greg. Greg, yeah, you heard me. And Kind of Funny, you know if you like Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys for Life.
Woo woo.
She's dancing, but I'm not on the frame.